That is amazing. So please welcome up our first director speaker, Angie, Rowan!
What happens if I go out of the light? First of all, wow, that is really bright. Really bright. I don't know, do I have the authority to say, can you turn that down a bit? Just kidding.
They did it.
What?
They did it.
They did it? Perfect. First of all, I'm Angie Rowan. I am a kindergarten teacher. Anybody who knows me, Shelley McClure's like, you're a type D and you're a kindergarten teacher? Well, yeah, aren't they all? You know, type D, we are hard to the wall. We run a strict ship, and I might think I maybe have a little bit of a personalities, but I grew up hating school. I hated school. I was a horrible student. I was that child that the teachers really didn't like. I pushed everybody's buttons and I challenged everything. I got out of high school, and you have to go to college, so I went to college, and I drank my way through my first year, and said, you know what, college isn't for me. I can drink for free, and not have to pay tuition. So I kind of did the working at the Walmart kind of thing, and I'm like, all right, this is not fun. This is so not fun. And so I went back to college, and I was 4.0, dean student kind of thing, and my old teachers, when they started seeing that I was going back to school to be a teacher, they were like, you're going into education? And I'm like, yeah, I think I want to teach kindergarten. And they're going, I didn't think you liked school. And I said, you know what, I don't. But I know that there's other kids out there that don't like school, and I'm going to make it fun. I'm kind of that advocate for them. When I started Vault, I didn't like designer jeans. I'm probably one of the few people who was like, oh my God, look at those girls, skinny bitches. And I had a lot of jeans in my closet. I had a lot of jeans, and none of them fit me. I'm like, oh, I'll get into that pair, and I'll get into that pair. And I know I didn't. And so, I have one or two pairs, and I, paid $20, or I got them at a garage sale because somebody else wore them in. And I'm a little bit of a Facebook junkie. We're kind of techie kids, Geek Squad at my house. And I saw this ad for, jeans, and I'm like, whatever. And this chick kept posting in our group, and I'm like, God, she is really serious about this. And she caught me at plus size. And I'm like, yeah, right, I can get plus size jeans for free?
Right.
Oh, well, let's chat. And so this Brittany Beneke person, she just messaged me, and she's like, oh my gosh, yeah, we should have a party. And I'm like, oh, I think I could do that. And she's like, well, where do you live? And I'm like, New Hampton, Iowa, kind of a crossroads of nowhere and the other nowhere, and we're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And she's like, oh no, I'm in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota, and that's kind of far away. And maybe you should think about selling jeans. I seriously cracked up. I've actually gone back to our Facebook messages, which is like 9,476 messages, so it takes all day to scroll back. I've actually copied and pasted so I don't have to continue to do that. And the messages that we went back and forth, I actually blocked Brittany for
I didn't know that.
Because I'm like, this is such a racket. There is no way I sell jeans, they send me money. People don't do that. And she's like, well, the jeans go up to $92. And I'm like, who pays $92 for jeans? You can go to Old Navy or Walmart, or you can go to the thrift stores. And so I posted on Facebook, and because I had already accepted the friend request from Brittany, I blocked her from seeing all this stuff I was asking people. And I'm like, so what do you guys spend on jeans? And nobody had heard of Vault at this time, and so on and so on. And so I spent about a month trying to find out or prove it wrong, you know, that there was something wrong. You know, I scoured the internet, and this was before all that other stuff that's all out there, but, and I couldn't find anything. I'm like, it's brand new. Well, it's not gonna work. And so I talked to my husband, and my husband is in sales. You know, he's always done sales. He sells really nice beds, by the way. I'll hook you up. And he's like, well, you know, what's it gonna hurt? And I'm like, well, it's $159. And so we started doing the math, and I said, well, I've already got like 13 people that want to come to a party. So, you know, what's gonna hurt? And he's like, well, how do you get the jeans? And I'm like, well, I guess I have to drive to go get them. And it's like 2.5 hours, I think, 2.5 hours. And he's like, really? You want to do that? And I said, well, I think, I work from like 7 to 4, and I could get over there by 6, and I get back, it'll be 8, and I could have the party the next day, and I could drive back and forth. And my husband's looking at me like, don't we have like Relay for Life meetings, and don't the kids have this, and this? I'm like, oh yeah, but I got a couple extra hours. So long story short, I started driving over, getting the jeans, and my first party, I sold like $1,000. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, dang, that was easy. I didn't even have a pair of jeans that fit me. I told the girls that came in, and they're like, oh, those Vault Denim jeans? I'm like, no, this other girl that came bought them off me. They were so cute, she bought them, so I have to go find another pair. And so I kind of lied my way through the first couple of months of parties, that, people kept buying the jeans off my body because they're so awesome. And so I just started selling jeans, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm making cash. And it was exhilarating, and it was fun. And then this Brittany girl, God, she was so freaking nice. And she'd come to get the jeans, and she'd give me a big hug and send me on my way. And I'm like, oh my God, we could probably be friends. I don't have a lot of friends, but we could probably be friends. I just won't let her really know what I'm like. And so, the first couple months, I sold like 5,000 my first month, and 4,500 the next month, and I kept driving to go get inventory. And this Brittany girl this other Brittany girl, all these Brittany's, they were messaging, well, you really can't have your own inventory because there's really not a need in Iowa. Did you see that I sold like $10,000 in the past 2 months, and I have a full-time job? Okay, well, we'll just keep signing people up and having parties. And so then December came, and Brittany's like, we should go to Vegas. For what? And she's like, well, convention. I'm like, for what? She's like, well, jean convention. And I'm like, we just started. Why would I go to Vegas? They don't know who I am, and I'm just selling jeans, and that means I have to like take a weekend off of parties, and oh my gosh, I'll run about my husband. You want to go to Vegas convention? You just started. What more do you need to know? You sell the jeans, they give you money. I'm like, yeah, but it's Vegas. Brittany said this is going to be awesome. And middle of December, money was still tight. And he gave it to me for my birthday. He's like, here's your birthday card. And he goes, I didn't get you anything, but there's money in there. I want you to go to Vegas. And yeah, he's kind of nice like that. And he just said, I have never seen you happier. He said, I know that you're excited about this. And he goes, as long as you're happy, we're going to be happy. And I'm like, oh my God, Brittany, we're going to Vegas. It's like in 3 weeks. Crap. So I'm getting things together, and we got our tickets, and I got to convention, and I'm like, looking around, and I was like, oh my God, there's Cody Mills. Brittany, there's Cody. And she, this was her first convention too. And we're just standing, I'm like, there's Cody Mills. Should we say hi? And I'm like, hi, Cody. And I just started bawling. I'm like, she talked to me, and she was so sweet. She's this tiny little thing, and I'm like, feeling like, I'm Angie Rowan, and I'm from Iowa. And she gives me this big hug, and I'm like, wow. She doesn't really know what I'm like. And I've kind of told this story before, but Shelley McClure kind of scared me, and she hates it when I say this, because she doesn't scare me anymore. Kind of. I just tell her that she does. And I'm like, yeah, I can't talk to Shelley. I'll talk to Cody. If she's shorter than me, I can take her out. But Yeah, and so I'm sitting in here, and you know, they got these naked men going down the runways, and I'm like, I have got the best job ever. I'm selling jeans, they're giving me cash, and they're showing me skin. Wow, if my husband knew he just paid me to come here, that would be great. And all of these leaders were coming up, and you know, and I'm sitting here going, looking around, I'm like, oh, look at all those skinny bitches, God. That's okay, because I sell jeans, and I love selling jeans, and I love the fun that I have. I spend my day with 5-year-olds, and they're gross. You know, they hug you, but there's snots coming on my sleeves, and I don't have a lot of friends because I hang out with 5-year-olds, and I'm covered in germs all the time. And we kind of tend to stay to ourselves at home, and so the jean selling was great. The friendships I was making, I was meeting people all over the state of Iowa. I had like so many Facebook friends in the first 3 months. I was just like, I have lots of friends now. And my husband's like, well, you don't really know them. And I'm like, well, but they're fine. I got big numbers. I have big numbers on my Facebook. And I'll just let you know, I'm going to go over a little, just so you know, my 15 minutes. Talk about your favorite thing. Well, that's a lot. So the friendships I was making, and so, you know, when I went to the convention, I had an open mind. I was just going to have fun, and I sat in the crowd, and I was taking notes, and I was running videos, and all these really, really pretty people got up there, and they were telling these awesome stories about all the things that they got to do because of Vault, and all the trips they got to go on, and I'm like, wow, wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, I'm just a plus-size girl from Iowa. That's not going to happen. And another speaker got up there, and another speaker got up there, and there was a couple of girls that got up there, and I'd be like, huh, maybe I could be up there. Guess what?
You're up there.
I'm up here. That was my short intro. The thing is that everybody is here. You can be up here. There is not a single person in this room who can't make director. There is not a single person in here who can't hit the goal they want. But you have to want it. You have to work for it. Vault just doesn't discriminate. You know, we may not have enough 15s and 16s and 18s, but they don't discriminate. They really, truly work hard. When I yell at Tyler, he listens. When I yell at Jim, he ignores me. But I know he listens. He just pretends he doesn't listen because I do the same thing. But everybody can do it. And I kind of narrowed it down to just 3 keys to success. The first one is show up. You're not going to make it if you don't show up. I brought a couple girls with me, and one of them, oh my God, she is trouble. But you kind of attract what you put out there, so she is kind of my trouble. She's so funny because she's like, oh my God, when I like put my mind to it, wow, things happen. And she's, that kind of thing. So my first key to success is to keep your vault high. You're gonna have lows. You're gonna have lows, and they blow. They blow hard. And they've blown really hard lately. But I look back at all my highs, and yes, the money is awesome. And yes, having really sweet jeans. And man, they really, designer jeans really actually do last longer. Who would have thought that? Your vault high. I know that it can be, oh my gosh, I made $2,000. But some of my vault highs, one pair. One in particular. I had a girl call me. She had a party, and she's a plus-size girl, and she divorced mom, going through custody, just, kind of like me. And she got a pair, and she was like, yeah, that's all right. Well, she called me. She's like, hey, do you have any that might fit me? And I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I just had some in, and I'm like, there's only like 2 pairs, but I think I got one. And she's like, all right, can I swing by after work? I kind of want a pair for the weekend. I'm like, yeah, come on over. And so she come over, and I'm like, okay, I narrowed it down, wink, wink, to 4. I want you to try these 4 pairs on. I really think one in there, I know which one you're gonna like, but I want to make sure you like it. And she was in my bathroom trying them on, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Oh God, did the button pop?" Oh, don't tell me you lost a bling in my bathroom. And she comes out, she's like, "Oh my God, Angie, these are awesome. I look awesome." And she started crying, and I'm like, "You're not supposed to cry when you're awesome? No, you're gonna make me cry." And she's like, "No, you don't understand. I got asked out on this date, and I had nothing to wear, and I was gonna cancel." And I knew all I had to do was make sure I didn't get a pair of jeans. If I didn't have something to wear, I was gonna cancel this date. This is my first date in 10 years. Vault High. It wasn't a $1,000 party. I actually didn't even get commission on that pair because I had bought them off of one of our groups so that I would have them. So I'd already earned the commission, so I made nothing on that except for a Vault High. Those little things are what keeps me going. The money's nice, so Jim, don't stop sending me money. But and the trips are really nice and all of those things. But the difference I'm making to people like me, I have no problem selling them to those buckle girls. They just come by and they're like, "Oh, I don't need to try them on. They'll fit." There you go. Do you need a bag, kind of thing? Yeah. But when I'm at a party and I can, be that fit specialist. You talked about that fit specialist, and I am brutally honest at a party. I'll be like, "Oh, girl, take those off. Right. You can't wear my name like that. If somebody asks you where you got those jeans and you say my name, I'm gonna be pissed." Because they're going to go, "Oh, yeah, I won't buy anything from her." So that first one, keep your vault high. Every time I get a new recruit, I still call Brittany. Like, "Oh my God, I just signed up a rock star." Raise your hand if you've ever said that. Yeah. They might not turn out to be rock stars, but they're stars. And there's people I've signed up that I had no clue what they had in them. So I treat everybody like a rock star. And then I get these messages in the middle of the night when my girls, and she may or may not actually be in here, but I get messages that say, "Oh my God, how can you sleep? I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks. How can you be sleeping? You don't even sleep like this during the week when you're working, and you're in bed. Why aren't you answering me? I have got so many things going on. I have girls who want to join my team. I have got so many ideas. What the hell? Wake up!" So I get up in the morning, and I'm a baller, and I start crying, and then I copy and paste it and put it everywhere and make her mad. Those are what my highs are. I've hit a couple lows. My team, I grew really fast. In the old comp plan, I was amazing. I'm still amazing, but, and I had a huge team really fast. I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of tend to fly by the seat of my pants, obviously. And things grew really fast. And, I look back and think, gosh, the things that I could have done to keep them. And I used to just knock myself out. And Cody's just like, "You can't want it more than them." I'm like, "Yeah, but Cody, they were selling lots of jeans." She's like, "Find somebody else." I'm like, "But Cody." She's like, "Angie, they don't want it." I'm like, "Why? Why don't you want it?" So they're just learning to let people go. I'm a challenge junkie, and I'm like, I used to fight for that, and it takes too much energy. So keeping that vault high. You'd be amazed if you start looking at what really makes you happy. It's not the money. It's the Liverpools, yeah, that'll make you happy. But it's those little things that make it count. And and it's the people who cheer you on. Whether they're on your team or not, I have made some amazing friends. And God, we would have a killer team if we would have all signed up under each other. But we didn't, and I still love them. But you know what? You have to set your goals. You can't I found that you really can't just fly by the seat of your pants. And you have to set goals, and you have to share those goals, and you have to have a plan. Right now, I'm trying to be there for my family. I spend way too much time away from them, and so I kind of made a resolve for myself that when it happens, it happens. And when I get to bypass Cody, it'll happen. She doesn't know that yet. The second one is persevere through the roadblocks. you come to that bump in the road, that pothole, or when the bridge drops out from under you, and you have three choices. You can just give up and blame the bridge. You can just give in and just drown, or you give it all you got. Those are the only three choices you have. The only three. And I see people, they're giving it all they got. Nobody in here is giving up. Nobody in here is drowning. You're at the control. Kind of like what the girls were talking about the race cars. You're in charge. If you give somebody else your wheel, you're giving up. You're in charge. If you want to hit director, you do it. You go talk to directors and say, well, how do you do this? How do you get there? How do you do this? There's a very special friend of mine who kind of taught me about roadblocks. Sometimes you just have to take a detour. You just have to take a detour. You have to do things differently. If you continue to do what you've always been doing, you're just going to keep getting what you got. So you got to be willing to take those detours, because there are some amazing things when you go off-roading. There's some amazing things, and you meet some amazing people. And like Gary said last night, you're going to attract what you're putting out there. And if you're hanging out with this crowd, they're only going to get you so far. You don't have to leave them in the dust, but branch out, be around other people. And God, it's scary. It is so scary to make cold calls or just approach somebody in the mall and hand her cards. I'm a master at it now. I had some girl, I'm pretty sure she might have been drunk, on the flight over here, and she was from Minneapolis, and I don't remember what she was coming here for, but they were just coming for 24 hours. I knew that her husband wasn't wearing underwear, so we were good friends by then. And she's like, well, what are you guys coming? I'm like, oh, from Vault Denim. Here's my card. And she's like, oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, you don't have jeans for this butt. And I'm like unbuckling, and I'm like, really? Because my butt fit into them. She's like, oh yeah, well at the party I was at, yeah, they was all for littler girls. And I'm like, if you have time, I got jeans in my suitcase. You're welcome to try them on, because I have jeans for your butt. And so I'm pretty sure I booked a party in Minneapolis. Yeah, it's 3 hours away. I don't care. I have so much fun doing that. I'll just book a couple parties that weekend and go and do it. Because I hate it when somebody says, well, you don't have jeans for big girls. Yeah, we do. We may not have 1,000 of them, but you really only need one to start with. So take those detours. Vault was in my detour. I wasn't looking for anything. I am way overcommitted. A Relay for Life volunteer. My dad had died. I'm a school teacher. And, we live at school and doing bulletin boards and coloring. And I don't do that anymore. But I didn't know I needed something. I didn't know I needed this in my life. And Brittany offered that detour. I really didn't want to take that road. But I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock, and I was so tired of jumping over hurdles because I really don't like to exercise. And so I'm like, I'm going to stop jumping through the hoops that are getting me nowhere. I'm done with that road. And then I took a chance. And, think about that when you're approaching people, or when people are like, oh, I can't do this. Everybody in here has a story. Take that detour, and, if it's a hurdle and you don't want to jump over it, crawl under it. But there's amazing things. Sometimes people put roadblocks up there because there's something really cool behind it. Think about CSI tape. There's awesome stuff behind those tapes. They said, enter. Yeah, there's a good reason. It's cool. And the third one, I kind of talked about it a little bit, but be the person that you want on your team. February is my month. They should just name it Anguary. I started in September of 2011, and I was just selling jeans like a jean machine, and I went to convention, and I came back from convention, and I probably annoyed every person in my life. I hit director the first month after convention. Went from team leader to director. I think I signed up like 9 people that month, and then corporate, by that time I already had an inventory, and then corporate's like, your inventory is really booked. And we've already put like 3 other inventories, and they end up having to send me a second inventory because, like, well, you did tell us we had to get a lot of people. And they kind of all followed suit. I'm learning to send out more vibes of, I'm open to people, even the skinny ones, to join my team. Christina, I do love you. Be positive. Be positive. I mean, we can be positively funny in a negative way, but I've really learned, especially in the past 6 months, when you look at where people are, you're attracting exactly what you want. So if you want to be mad because those buttons pop, guess what? They're always going to pop. If you want to be, upset about something, guess what? You are going to find a whole lot of upset because you attract it. But if you go to a party and you just, throwing jeans and try these on and, I love this. I'm a kindergarten teacher by day and I sling jeans at night and I got to go to Cancun and Lake Powell and I'm pretty sure I got a memo that I'm going to go to Hawaii and maybe, like Bermuda and I'll probably go back to Cancun and people are like, really? Just for selling jeans? People don't get it. This is so new. We are doing something, we don't even know how to define it. That's how new it is. And you start thinking about, okay, 10 years down the road, we're probably just going to own the denim business in this country. Woo! Yeah. We're doing it the right way. We make women look good, feel good. We don't really make them smell good yet, but we can work on that. Invest. You can't treat this as a hobby. You have to have goals. This is a business. You have to show up to your business every day. Yes, we have flexibility, but you have to show up every day. You have to know what you're going to do when you show up. You're not just going to go, ta-da! Where's my parties? Why aren't they booking parties? Make the ask. Ask everybody, what are they going to do? Tell you no? It's not like you haven't been told no before. Focus. I really am not good at that. Focus. Know what you want. You can't just say, I want to be a director. I want to be a director. You do? Because it's a lot of work. Gosh, those girls are complainers, and they're this and there's that. I have learned how to be a leader. I was not a very good leader when I started. I just, why aren't you doing what I'm doing? It worked for me. You should just do what I do and you'll get what I got. And no. But put it out there, be open. And lastly, tell your story. People love to hear how you got here. I used to think it was bragging. I used to think that, oh God, all she does is talk about herself. She's so annoying. I kind of am. People love to hear your story. And they love to hear it over and over again. And if they don't love to hear it over and over again, they have 2 feet and can walk away. Because, look at you. I only think I saw 2 people get up and walk away. So, they're not going to become directors. But, just kidding. Sorry, Christina. I'm going to close on this. I do like to be funny, and I like to make Jim laugh. And at dinner the other night, they made a comment about Dr. Phil, and, hey, Jim, do you like Dr. Phil? I don't think those two would get along. And the question was posed is, do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? And everybody's like, oh, I like being happy. Oh, I like being right. And I looked Jim straight in the eye, and I'm like, I want you to be happy that I'm right. I want to thank Tyler and Jim and Steve for always believing in me and for not letting me give up, not be a has-been. I've made a best friend, and I'm going to be here no matter what. The perseverance, why would I stop now? We're the leaders.